hat, plunge pool, tanning bed, and down there we have a destination. Ooh, nice. They upgraded us to the oceanfront penthouse suite because it's our honeymoon. Now we're going to go explore. Here we are in Tulum, about to walk into Mystika. Immersive mystical experience by a photographer named
Pepe Soho. Yeah, Pepe Soho. Got a great story. Owned a couple of companies and then got tired of the grind. Went to find himself and fell off a horse, broke his leg in the Himalayas, and 3 years later thought he was over it all, going to end it. He was depressed and didn't like where he was going, and then his transformation began. So his photography is his transformation, and this museum or gallery is his explanation of it. It's pretty incredible.
It's his homage to nature because he feels nature is what healed him. And apparently Soho Clothing Company was quite a thing. I'll have to go and find it. So here we go, Mystika. best Indiana Jones.
Yeah, my best Indiana Jones. I feel like Indiana Jones right here with all the Temple of Doom.
As luck would have it, we were just a few feet away from the Tulum Mayan ruins, so we decided to come on up and check it out. I've always wanted to visit here, so I'm super excited. This is the gateway in.
Yeah, you walk through the stone wall, which is like a fortification. That's a legit homegrown iguana.
Can you see? Oh look, there's another one. See its head popping out?
Oh yeah.
Oh, he's like, what are you doing? Taking my picture? Don't bite me. Do iguanas bite?
Oh yeah, if you put your finger in their mouth, why wouldn't they?
That's beautiful.
Yeah, this is the Palace of the Grand Lord. This is where the royalty lived. It's got concrete benches along the walls for tables, chairs or beds. And then in the back, it's got a place where they did their religious ceremony. So they had church in the house.
It's cool.
Yeah.
And over here is the Temple of the Descending God. Because above the door, you can see, I don't know if you can see it, but it has this picture right here. Descending from heaven, feet up, head down, holding a sacred object. So this is the Temple of the Descending God, and this is the one that you see as from the beach. The most beautiful. We'll look at it later.
So if this is the Temple of the Descending God, and obviously the sculpture is of someone being birthed from heaven, and the only one that I know that fell from heaven is Lucifer, is this in honor of Lucifer? We'll have to figure that one out.
Sounds pretty legit to me, as sweat drips down my face.
So the Mayans had gods for all seasons and every day, and so they offered to a god for the labor, the human labor would be fruitful. They also were dedicated to Venus because it had a dual, it was a dual god, the morning star and the evening star. And the descending god was the setting sun, closely related to Venus. So it can be said that the evening star was worshipped at Tulum.
That was Tulum. That was pretty amazing.
The ruins of Tulum.
The ruins of Tulum, that's right, the ancient ruins. Very hot, very hot. But very,
That is the original Tulum. Yeah, you're right.
yeah,
Yeah, that's the original.
very beautiful. have taken advantage of Maria del Mar's sister resort called Pokna, and as you can see, they have a vast beach with cabanas and beds, and the water is crystal clear. And we're gonna take a catamaran ride out to the reef. That's just right out there. So I highly recommend it. As you can see, fabulous. So today we're just relaxing on the beach, enjoying the sun and the sand and the water. No agenda, just going with the flow. And this is where we ended up. Make out.
Yeah.
We have the ruins of Tulum from the opposite viewpoint. How do you make your guacamole?
I like my guacamole to have mashed avocado and cumin, liquid smoke, garlic, salt, pepper, some cayenne pepper, and chili powder. And I think the liquid smoke is what brings it alive with the cumin.
Really?
Yeah,
Liquid smoke.
liquid smoke.
I've heard that was toxic.
Might be. That's why we put a couple drops in it. This guacamole is delicious. I think it's a mix of the squash that they use to fake guacamole and avocado. I think it's a mixture of both.
Whoa.
Yeah, and it could use some salt. And personally, I like the smoke, so it could use some cumin, chili powder, and liquid smoke. But again, that's how I like it. So, restaurant guac is pretty good. Salt would be helpful.
A little salt and little cayenne
Little
hot
heat.
sauce.
Yeah.
So I think what we're gonna do is, while we're here, is a tour of guacamole. Because what I have discovered is I can eat guacamole breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So
I smell somebody's got a bowl going. Smell some weed.
we are downwind of a joint being smoked
Yeah,
or something. Smells good.
yeah. And see, there's some chunks of guac or chunks of avocado.
Yeah.
So I think it's some avocado mash, but I also think it's a squash in here.
Overall, since this is our first graded, I'm going to give this guacamole personally, on a scale of 1 to 10, this is a 5.
The chips are amazing.
The chips
They're
are
homemade
amazing.
corn chips.
And this
corn,
is,
corn tortilla.
yep,
Yeah, chips are great.
this is Poknas. This is the sister resort to
Pokna.
Pokna. Sister
Pokna.
resort,
Pokna. Yeah.
Maria del Mar, and we've been here all day, and it's been amazing. And this is where the you can walk down and see the ancient ruins of Tulum from the beach angle, which we did earlier. All right, we are out. We're waiting to go to Sian Kaan. We're waiting on our car to pick us up, take us on the boat.
Yeah, cool thing about this is usually it's a car ride to Sian Kaan. The taxi driver last night also has a tour company, and he said that he has a boat ride to Sian Kaan through the marshes and the inlets and the waterways. So we're going to get to see some wildlife, nature, and things that you wouldn't see in the car ride. So that's pretty cool.
Yes. I was skeptical. I had a dream last night that they never showed up to pick us up and just took our money. This was a deal made in the back of a cab ride, so.
But I have a receipt to prove it. And we walk out front to the curb, and the guy's partner is there waiting on us and says they'll pick us up at 8:30. So we're in the hotel restaurant getting a breakfast sandwich to go and coffee note. Americans are gluttonous, we know that. Can't get a drip cup of coffee. This is Cafe Americano, an espresso with hot water. It makes a good cup of coffee. You just don't have an unlimited cup like at home, so that's something to note.
And this is our view from our coffee.
Yeah, coffee cam.
We got a yoga instructor dancing over to the left, practicing her moves. All right. Looks like the battery didn't fully charge, so this may be a short video for today. But it should be a full day. They say you might see manatees, jaguars, all kinds of wildlife. And some of the oldest Mayan ruins that exist. I don't remember the name of them, but I'm sure we'll learn them by the end of the day. All right. There was some misunderstanding. We actually took an hour-long bumpy ride. Bumpy. Very safe. No boat picking us up at the hotel. But here we are, Sian Kaan, about to get on the boat.
Anyway, so in total, yes. They are stealers. They fly like kites. They're stealers. What they do is snatch the fish from the bird in order to steal it. White breast, the females. Black breast, the boys. The brown pelican. The pelican they get in the air. What they do is they have a ground in the back just underneath the feet. And they spread the oil all around the feet. Let's be positive so they can jump and dance for us. We don't have one, we don't have two, we don't have three, we have four. So when they do this little jump like before, it's because what they do, they swim at the bottom, they move the sand, they go past the bottom, so the fish gets confused. So the fish try his way up in order to be free, but that's the moment they catch it and they eat it.
I didn't know it was facing us.
We're in the eco biosphere of Sian Kaan.
Yeah, in the natural swimming hole, which basically is just shallow sandy water.
It is warm,
Yeah, it's very warm.
crystal clear,
Yeah.
and we just went snorkeling and the GoPro died, but it was the best snorkeling I've ever experienced, really.
Yeah, I've only snorkeled in Bahamas and Turks and Caicos, and it killed both of those. So
Oh, I just dug the sand up with my toes.
yeah, it's a live sand dollar. See the little fur around the perimeter? Those little feelers? Yeah.
And I'm gonna put it back because it's still alive.
Maybe everybody wants to see the sand dollar.
Anybody want to see the sand dollar?
The sand dollar, starfish. Un poquito en el agua, un poquito en el agua.
In the water?
Water.
Oh,
Just there, let's see. So, perfect.
Amazing. And I'm surrounded by thousands of little fish. And the pelicans are diving in and eating. Tulum.
It's a freshwater spring coming up in the ocean floor through the coral, and the water is like hot coming out. That's why we have all the fish. Okay, so you saw the small little spring we showed you. Here is a much larger spring. There's so much fresh water coming out that the water is cloudy because it's brackish. You can't hardly see it, but the fish are all in the water because it's warm. It is super warm. So this is what it looks like. That's the spring coming out. That's how much water is coming out right now of the freshwater spring to the bottom of the ocean. It is amazingly warm. So I'll give you underwater to see, so you can see how brackish it is and the fish. Amazing, right? Crazy.
This is the little street here outside our hotel. Maria Del Mar, which is right there. More headed to breakfast. You want to eat here?
No. A little partial to the potheads
Partial to potheads.
for breakfast.
You can rent bikes. Gracias.
Where do you buy the Palo Santo?
I've been to Mexico 3 or 4 times and I never realized you could buy all of this stuff. And you don't need a prescription. Crazy! Another thing is you have to be careful where you stand because these coconuts that you can see right there, they very frequently fall out of the trees and land on the ground. And unlike in Hawaii where they have people cut down the coconuts for safety reasons, that doesn't happen here.
Yeah.
In fact, you can have coconuts laying on the ground all around you, and at the same time you can also pay $10 for a coconut. So as you can see, coconuts, coconuts, and if you're not careful, you'll end up with a coconut on your head. And here's more of the street art I was telling you about. Very beautiful. Also, if you need a COVID test, which you will need to get back into the US, you can stop pretty much a quarter of a mile. They have COVID tests. 30 minutes, $35 US.
Hey, come to Tulum, amigos. You're missing out. Don't miss out. We'll be waiting for you. Yeah.
All right.
Please.
Brian says this place has the best pizza, Bocanera.
Yeah.
And it really was good. We ate there twice. One thing we learned while we were here is that 3/4 of Tulum is owned by the Italians. So the food here is amazing. You would expect maybe for it to be more Mexican, but it's actually more Italian. So like right there is a nice homemade pasta
Yeah.
Italian restaurant.
Yeah.
This is right outside our hotel. And then of course Bocanera, the pizzeria. They said it's world famous, and I believe it is.
So good.
I'm just gonna walk down the street here. That's really cool.
This is one of the local markets here. And this is our hotel, Maria del Mar. Really, really nice place. Mina is a restaurant associated with the hotel. Great beach service, great drinks. Hola. Buenos dias. So you see our hotel, Mina, the restaurant. Here is another restaurant, and then there is another hotel. So they're hotels bumped up to each other. Some of them have common walls.
am going to take you on a tour of the resort where we are staying here in Tulum. It's called Maria del Mar. We have the beach pool that you can see here. And we're actually staying in that room right up there. We have a beautiful view of the ocean. They have yoga every day at 8. A little reading area. A little rest and relaxation area. And of course this beautiful spot. The coast here is pretty rocky. I have come up here every morning to watch the sunrise. Sunrise is right there. We spent the whole day up here. The other day we had this whole place to ourselves. There's a little shower there. It was a wonderful day to spend the day. Brian hung out in the hammock where it was nice and shady. Here we have our private beach lagoon and little private beach cabanas. The water's crystal clear. It's a little cloudy where the sand is kicking up. We actually watched people snorkel all the way out until we couldn't see them anymore. They were out there for hours. I really don't know how they made it back in, or even if they did. That was kind of an adventure. I've got some books set up right here if you fancy a relaxing read in the shade. We have access to private little beds with shade. There's a restaurant right here called Mina. So far they've had the best guacamole. The only problem is we've had to listen to construction all day and into the night. So that's not exactly relaxing. And then having 20 construction workers watch on as you try to get your tan on. Not ideal. But we try to avoid that by going to the beach clubs, going on adventures, and actually, unfortunately, trying to stay out of the resort as much as possible. There's a little Maria del Mar sign. I really like where we are staying, this part of the neighborhood of Tulum. We've got some really good restaurants that we've enjoyed. There's a 7-Eleven, maybe 1 kilometer from here, where we've been able to get fresh water, some fresca, maybe some Topo Chico mineral water. Deity Suite. The plunge pool's been nice. Nice way to cool off in the heat. In fact, I might just now get in it. And here you have our view. Again with the construction. So there you have it. A little tour of our resort that we've been at all week.